Hey, what's up, y'all? This is MCM. And this is the podcast called You're Probably Right. Why did I start like that? Really weird. You know why? Because I just cut it. So technically, I've been talking already for 5 minutes and I didn't like any of it. So I'm bringing it back. It wasn't too good. Anyway, I think you should like this episode. You know what I mean? Just for jokes. I wish I did more. You'll understand what I mean in a second. Okay. Welcome to episode 173 of Your Probably Right podcast. Today, it's time for something different, something exciting, something that feels like one of those 80s choose your own adventure books, mixed in with a little unpredictability of social media challenge and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Let's say you've just won. So I'm going to just say right now, I just won $50 million Canadian, but I mean, if you're American. And then obviously wherever else you're from, if you don't use those two types of tender, then, you got to kind of figure out what 50 million is, I guess, American, then you can kind of go, but no, it's $50 million from wherever you're from. So if it's Jamaica, then you'll probably need a whole mansion just to hold the amount of bills because of the money being not that great. All right. Anyhow. So remember, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It's just for fun. I am a Christian, but I'm just here. I'm going to try and look at it even from the Christian perspective. So the deal is I won $50 million. And then I'm just going to try to go through a few different things to see, what's real, what's real. Because most of us just get, a couple things off when, if I won $50 million, I'd tell my boss where to go. And you know what I mean? Whatever. Start my own hip hop video of lyrics that were written by Jay-Z just for me, the way that I talk or something like that. Like, no, it's just, I want this to be as clean and as cool as possible. And I want to just give anybody who's wondering, maybe you just like story time and you like to pick people's brains. So whatever it is you like, I think this podcast might, be one of those good ones. All right. So maybe you inherit it. Maybe your song just went platinum. Who knows? Or maybe, you just signed a mega contract after years of grinding it out. Whatever the situation, you suddenly have way more money than you ever imagined. What do you do now? Now, this isn't a guide and it isn't, it's definitely not pre-planned. I'm going into this as raw and real as possible with no prep, no, so everything you hear is just kind of just going to be me. I mean, like literally I'm reading out what I wrote in. I'm having a hard time, but this is just going to be straight off the cuff as it usually is anyhow. So, you're in an authentic moment, pretend, whatever. Let's navigate the ups and downs, twists and turns. What happens when your bank account skyrockets overnight? Whether it's smart, dumb mistakes, or just pure fun. Let's just see what happens when 50 million fall into your lap. This is the 50 million challenge. Buckle up. But it's about to get real. So here we go. So remember, I'm looking at it as I have sudden wealth. Don't know where it came from. Don't know why it's here, but it's here. Here we go. I guess people always think if I won the $1 million or, if I had, before it was like if I had $1 million, and I was like if I had 50 million. So you didn't see it coming. It's just here. There's no preparation. I'm just going to go into it and just whatever I think. And if I ever listen to this again, I might think like, what was I thinking? But of course, it's just boom. I'm just getting hit with the information and let's see what I would do. And I guess, I'll just choose my own path and see what happens. So $50 million challenge questions. Now, any podcast could do this except for a podcast where you have already had $50 million in your possession or are way well on your way to building it up to that. I just wanted to know from just the average people who are not making money on their podcast right now, or maybe just a little bit of money, but just like, I don't want it to be the higher end. I mean, if it's a higher end person, we would have to probably go to somehow something flipped and everything changed, and now you have $500 million, maybe. So your average, really, really wealthy person who does a podcast, it would be really cool if you did this. So so lifestyle, splurge, and first decisions. You just found out about the money. What's your first move? Do you call someone? Do you keep it secret? Or immediately, go off the grid? Or do you, have a huge celebration? Come up party or something. I don't know why, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I think I would quietly go to wherever it is I have to go to to let them know I am the winner. I am the winner, baby. But I would go off quietly. I wouldn't say anything to anyone. Period. Sometimes I look at it and I think maybe I would do it differently, but I think that'd be the right way. I would, let's just say I bought the ticket. Let's just say, like, I'll do it from the lottery perspective. You don't really play the lottery or whatever, but I have once in a blue moon. And I always wondered, would God let a Christian win? And not a person claiming to be a Christian, but an actual Christian. There's a difference. Okay. So yeah, I don't say anything to anyone. Go collect it, whatever it is, or maybe there's money that they give you per month or whatever. I don't know how they would really do it, but let's just say they gave it to you. Boom. Apparently you don't pay any taxes on lottery wins in Ontario. That's they say. I mean, generally, right? I guess you'd figure over a certain amount of money you would, but apparently you don't, because I know when I get my $20, I get, it says I won $20, I get $20. So, but I mean, you'd think maybe that would change when big money is changing hands, but I guess not. I wouldn't throw myself a celebration. I think I would just honestly keep quiet. I might buy one nice thing, or I might just clear off bills. Probably clear off bills first. Sit and wait. Observe. I don't know if anybody else has had this, and I wish I could ask you, but it's just me and you, and I'm just talking to you, and I'm trying to figure out what you would do in this situation, in my situation. Okay, so I won $50 million. Never thought I would have that kind of money. So everything just became a lot more real. Because, day to day, we worry about paying bills, keeping our jobs, doing our jobs so someone would appreciate our job and continue to help you prosper because of it. And there's a certain level of motivation to please bosses, to please customers, business partners, to please someone in whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you handed out the most tickets in your department, and you're a police officer. Maybe you've saved the most people because you're a firefighter. Either way, you've delivered the most babies. You've saved the most lives at a hospital. You're the fastest at doing fries in McDonald's. You're a greeter at Walmart. You're a clerk at Roots Canada. You're a teacher at a school board. You're a janitor, a caretaker, babysitter, stay-at-home mom, on welfare dad, single woman, no kids, no husband, out of the age of possibility of having children, no prospects. Grocery store clerk. You recognize yourself and you don't feel like you're very good looking according to normal standards. You've never had a date. You don't think you ever will. Maybe you're 57 and real stringy hair, skinny fat, with bad teeth. Like, just anything, anybody. Masters of the universe or just regular Joe Schmoes. Just so you get the whole picture. Do you buy a house? And what kind of house are we talking about? For me, I think I'd buy a house. You always want to make sure that you have a base. So if everything fails, you still have that house that you can liquefy. Your last way of defense. And obviously, everybody needs a shelter. Needs food, clothing, love. But keeping it basics. Keeping it basic, it doesn't help to be talking this canny. Yeah, get a house. I would get one off of the grid a little bit, not too far off the grid where nobody will miss you. I would back out of a lot of things. I really think about that observation I was trying to get to earlier. Where nothing matters and nobody's forcing you to do anything. You're just here. People's attitudes, ideas, or disrespect of your ideas don't matter as much anymore. Critique of your job doesn't matter anymore. You don't need to lean on anybody else for anything because of your financial situation. I just think it'd be so weird realizing that 99% of the people that you see every day have to jump through some hoops for someone else or for some reason. But how money would change that. Money would change the demands you could probably make doing business. Money could change, whether you can get yourself made over every month and start looking better than you ever looked before. You could get procedures to make yourself look average if you're not average for whatever reason. genetics, misfortune, overeating, um, malnutrition, like just whatever it is. You're just in a situation where you can just stop and you realize that everything that you would ever have to pay for, you could technically pay for right now in a normal person's life. So yeah, I think I'd get a house, maybe a sprawling mansion, maybe one of the cities that are a little bit east of Toronto or north or both. But I would do it very quietly. I think it would fit in my life because my life's pretty simple. So me just moving a little bit farther out wouldn't really do anything. Or nobody would care, I guess. My guilty pleasure, let's see. Are you going to go for a Lamborghini? Private jet? Nah. Nothing weird. I'm not going to go buy a Tiger. And I think if I was gonna buy a car, I've said this to a few people. They probably never really got me or understood. But personally, like spitting, I would like to buy a car and so like this car that I would like to duplicate it 5 times with just certain little small trim changes, maybe color only. And literally have a Monday car, Tuesday car, and so on. And I guess I'd have to house them. But I mean, if I'm at a house and I got a big property, but yeah, and it'd be a simple car. I always said it would be a Civic. Now that I think of it, I could probably swing some sort of a A2 Audi or a Golf. They don't have the A4 anymore. I love the A4, the one that they were making until I think 2014. Check it out. It's just a sick car. But something simple like that feels good, sits good, has good pickup, and all that stuff, and just a sick car, but not too sick. And I would buy 5 rather than go buy a Lamborghini. I could probably keep money down with insurance too. But that's just me, just the simple life. That'd just be the one little, big thing that I would do. What's your guilty pleasure? I don't really have a guilty pleasure. It's guilty. Yeah. That'd be it. A house and a car. I think I'm set now. Maybe I get the best stove ever to cook nice foods, or you know what I mean. Good appliances like a huge, almost walk-in fridge or freezer or something like that. Well stocked up. Kind of the house I think I'd be looking at would be like a house like that kind of house that you'd stay if there was a storm coming. So that'd be, but if I did that in a cheaper city, matter of fact, I'd probably get it custom. Security and all that, but not people, just security. Yeah. Handling relationships and new demands. Do you tell your family and friends, or do you keep it secret for as long as you can? I would want to slowly tell my kids. Probably one at a time. And it'd probably be in the order of who can handle it, who's level-headed, who won't even understand what that means, and lastly, probably who would just want to go crazy. So I wouldn't keep it as long. I wouldn't keep it quiet as long as I can with my family. No, they would know eventually, and not that far down the eventually. um, I'm definitely not throwing a big reveal party. um, I know 100% people would change. People would become a lot nicer. That's just a given. When you come up, people always become nicer to you. You know what I mean? Like, you're at the bottom of the barrel. Maybe you're the guy who's just sweeping up at Chuck E. Cheese, and then you know, people find out that you're rich. They start giving you breaks. Oh, go take a break. Don't worry about it. You know, giving you Christmas gifts probably, and inviting you to celebrations around their house and their circle of people. Um, the bank people take that much more respect when dealing with you. The talk is different. Found that out one time. There was a little bit in the bank, and every time I had to go talk to the people, the financial advisors or whatever, you know, they invite you in the back room. Like, you don't do regular stuff with your account at the front desk. Everybody just looks at you differently soon as you have, you know, it's kind of like the situation where, you know, if you have a boyfriend or if you have a girlfriend or if you have a husband or you have a wife, and when you didn't notice all of this extra attention and opportunities you have. But anyway, the point is that as you have, the more money you have, I realized the better people treat you. And however you show that, you know, people do it with the fake signalings, I guess, with cars and clothes and haircuts and even bodies these days. Those are like fake brags that you got it. And then there's just those who just got it. And I think once people find out that you got it, I think everything changes. How do you handle the inevitability of money requests from, you know, family, friends? Let's see. Yeah, you could create a fund, I guess, for money, you know, money over here. We'll call it that. The money over here money is for people you know. So, okay, so let's look at the money. House, I'm saying maybe 4 million, maybe 3 million. Cars, I said that, you know, when I was thinking of this, I don't know now. Like, if it's third, it's five, it have to be 5 cars that are $30,000. And I mean, I'm gonna be driving. I don't even know. No, I'll need a weekend car too. So, so let's just say 30,000 a piece, and then maybe 40 for something else on the weekends. But anyhow, you know, beyond that, I haven't really done anything. So I think that I would put, how much would I do? I think I put away not even 3. I put away 3 million for people I know. Just straight up people. And the reason why I can say that is because I don't really have that many friends at all. And I would just have my kids pretty much. And I guess people associated with them. So yeah, I'd have a little fund, about 3 million. You know, plus the 4 or 5 for my house. And I guess I'd try to get the cars in there. Not taxed, so that's good. That's good. Are you going to give back to your old community? Well, I don't really have an old community to give back to in a sense. I just have a community, like where I've been. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, people might say that old community. Well, it's not like I'm gonna go. I pledge 10 million or 200,000 to the black community. I don't know, because I don't think that money ever gets to the community. If it's me standing on a street corner, literally giving money to every single resident, that'd be crazy. I wish I could do it. Imagine you could just tell the government to download, upload to your files the bank accounts of everybody who's black in your city. You could just download a bunch of money to everybody. That'd be crazy. So that's not gonna work. My thing was, I always wondered why people like Drake, anybody, like, there's not really that many people that huge out of Toronto or even Ontario. I mean, it's probably Drake and Bieber. I'm sure The Weeknd has some money, but I don't think he has anything close to what type of money these guys have. But who knows? Maybe he's smart with it, or maybe they pay him more than, anyway. But so my thing was, I would like to build a community center. Now, I know that I only did 50 million, and apparently it costs, I think, probably around 40-50 million dollars. I think the Toronto one by Regent Park was about 40 or 50 million. So you'd have to be one of those $300 million people to really get one of those community centers going. But that was always my thing. Like, let's just say I got that money and somehow I got $600 million. And, 100%, I'm getting the community center, skate rink, ice rink, skate rink, ice hockey, whatever, and library, swimming pool, and we're hitting it hard, 150 million. And that's the type of thing that I would do for, say, like the black community, teach black kids to do this, to do that. But it's funny even when I think about that, because there's many people in the black community who have come up to Canada who are well educated, many not very well off, but well off enough that they were able to scrounge to get to this country and to hopefully make a better life for themselves, or whatever their ideal life is. Not saying that they came from a horrible life from wherever they came from, but then, I'm thinking about people from the West Indies, and depending on which island, like Jamaica, a lot of people are coming down from the bottom, and somehow they get up to Canada, and life changes. But anyhow, you're giving back to two different types of black communities. There's that's why there is no just one black community, because the black experience is so different to, many. There might be 40 different life life situations that a person could be coming from, and just calling them black doesn't really, just the color of their skin isn't going to really do it. But I guess probably just the area, as they said, the hometown. So maybe I would just do things for the area that I come from, or the whole area, and don't even bring color into it. Maybe I just give to a church, maybe I help build a couple churches for pastors who are preaching the word of God the right way, ones who are staying biblical and staying away from those analogy. I can't even say the word, but just those narratives that people make, where the scriptures have somehow brought them to this new understanding of something, because they've changed kind of what the scriptures were saying, and take the Bible out of out of the Bible, the story, and pluck it into some random ungodly situation and say, yeah, this is what it means. Not those kind of ministers. The one I'm talking about is like a John MacArthur, who sticks to the word, lets the word explain the word, and doesn't add anything or take anything away from it. But yeah, so maybe a couple churches like that. That'd be really cool. That'd be the best way that I'd like to give back to the community, to tell you the truth. But I would be worried. I think I'd worry every day, maybe even more than I do now, about my sanctification in Christ, because it says it's harder for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter heaven. And I think if you're wealthy and that money becomes your thing, you're not making it. But I mean, I don't think there's very many Christians who are winning it. I think the wealth of this world is a lot of time controlled by the devil. So because, he's mammon and all that greed and covetousness, and because most of these things they say are rigged in these situations are, but I don't know. I try to give back. That's all I know. Living large or staying grounded. Would you keep your old friends close, or does this kind of wealth change your social circle? Would you still hang out with the same places, same people? Or do you find yourself wanting a different social environment? Me, it'd be exactly the same because I have no life. I don't there's not much I do. And I don't have situations where I'm trying to move around in any type of circle. So it wouldn't be an issue. But I guess that'd be something that somebody would have to think about. Could they keep hanging around with Pookie, Ray Ray and them or whatever. How much would you set aside just have pure fun? Pure fun. I don't know. I would hope that wouldn't even change, and maybe that would even change. Once you have a lot of access to anything, your dopamine hit needs, I guess, a lot more of whatever it is that you have or like. Or not have, but like, yeah. So I would hope that I remain at a level where it's, things I like to do or whatever it is, actually doable. But I think, honestly, I could only see myself having like a 300-inch TV or something, like some ridiculous size place where I whether it's a projector and it's really quiet, hopefully, or it's one of those projectors that shine down and they're attached to the wall or whatever it is. But I would like to be viewing like state of the art whatever with state of the art speakers in a state of the art house. And but like for fun, like, I need to go to Vegas or I have to go to Miami or something like that. No, I don't have anything like that. Anyhow, I'm like, something stinks. Gosh, people monkey around and they do stuff around you in the house or, wherever you are. And, oh gosh, man, it's horrible. Whew. Okay. Would you take time off or quit working altogether? Again, I'd stay working. for a while and nobody would know anything. I would just be there and I'd be observing. And it's funny. I think that, I was trying to say earlier is I think you're allowed a different perspective when you're stable and not worried about not having, or not worrying that you have to keep working because you're trying to keep your head above water. You're just there. So because you're absolutely taken care of no matter what, I would try to keep my job. Now, would I take off every Friday as a habit? Maybe not. Maybe not, because I think all of the stress would go down so much in my life that, yeah, there'd be no worries. So you probably wouldn't need to get the days off of work. You'd probably just be happy that you have, something acting against you to keep you on your toes mentally. Plus, I think it'd be funny. Some of the conversations I have to have with people is like, knowing that nothing can be held against you, and you're not worried about anybody trying to take your life from you by getting you fired. I think your whole demeanor would change. I think people would have no choice but to deal with you differently. Even if they didn't know what was up, they would know something's up and that you weren't the one. What kind of investments would I make? I don't know. Those tax-free savings accounts, man. There's some sort of a crack or crock there, but I couldn't tell you what it is. But yeah, I would try to save. I would try to invest a little bit. So I probably try to buy some more land. Hopefully, I'm in a cheap place, so I would try to buy some more land or a property. Maybe about 4 rental properties, maybe less. Just mid-range that are easy locations for me to kind of get to when I need to commute, and so I can watch over my investment. And obviously good enough to bring a little steady, not very robust income, but definitely steady income. But I try to stay as secure as possible. What kind of investments would you make? Yeah, a couple properties, and not a steady business. It's not like I could do a variety store or something, because you can't really. You have to be on top of everything that you're purchasing every day. Your air would have to be to the streets, unless, of course, I got one of the kids to do it or something. Stocks, real estate. Not stocks. I think it would just be all real estate for me. Maybe a little crypto. Who knows? A little crypto. How would you plan for a long-term security? Again, just little investments, small investments, where I can play landlord, but I don't have to be that close to it landlord, so that maybe I could hire like a management company that would just they just take care, probably a little some dude, and they just kind of help you along the way, but they don't charge you like an arm and a leg. They just manage the property. I know that because I rented from someone like that one time. Pretty good guy, pretty flexible, and he's just responsible to get, collect the money. And if something needed to be fixed, a minor thing, that they would handle it. So yeah, that'd be pretty simple there. It's just 50 million again, right? Like, it's not like, I don't have the whole universe. How would you plan for long-term security? Again, it would be the land. I think I would be using the rental properties for the, stable little small income. And I think I'd be good like that. And, maybe if I had four, maybe I'd try to get five. Maybe if I had five for a while and jump to six, or maybe I would just get six, whatever it would be. Later in life, for long-term security of actual money, just like could be liquid, something could be liquefied right away. I'd sell a house or two. Hopefully I was smart and I purchased in really good areas, and by then maybe those houses have tripled what I purchased them for, whatever it is. And I'm just like, when I finally get to an age where I can't, there's no way that I'm going to be taking any more in. There's like, my abilities are going to be hampered. So I'm talking after I'm at least able to be working in a job. Yeah. How do you balance how do you balance enjoying your health, your wealth, and planning for the future? Um, or yeah, enjoying your wealth. Well, I'm not a busybody, and I don't need to go to, I don't need to take huge trips to places. I don't have to have a new car every month because I'm rich, or um, hopefully I would pick the car that I would pick for the four cars, or five cars, I should say, six cars. Um, and that's kind of crazy. Um, yeah, maybe I wouldn't even do that, but let's just say I already did it. I already made the choice, so here I am. That's what I got. Um, I think those things in life would be really all I would need, to be honest with you. There's no place I need to go. You know, God's people and God's land is just wonderful wherever you are. I think at some level, they have different levels and they have different types, and I think I'd be good right here in Ontario. And I guess you'd want a financial advisor, but of course, with this little amount of money, and it's not a little amount of money, but you know what I mean. You couldn't really hire a financial advisor to keep on staff or something. It'd be just somebody who you could kind of, I guess, who freelances, and maybe you could pay them for good advice or pay them for advice. Period. Uh, and usually, once you have money, you end up being around people who have those skills, because they always want to be messing with somebody else's money. Um, so would I travel? Nope. Travel the world? Nope. I think I'd probably get a little more stressed about them having that money and losing it, though. Um, yeah. So I'm not really going anywhere. Um, I'm single, so it is what it is right now. But I'm just saying, if I'm not, then obviously I would assume the other individual would like to go somewhere, possibly, but maybe I've finally picked someone who's not concerned about where they are, as opposed to, like, they're more concerned about what they're doing and who they're doing it with. What would you do to challenge yourself now that money is no longer a barrier? Um, how would you? I think on trying to find time to do things for other people. And hopefully that don't always include money, because you burn through it fast. Um, I think I'd like to volunteer more. Hmm. And I think, yes, for certain, people would change How do you think people's perception of you might change? And how would you handle it? And I mean, like, who knows? Maybe I'm not that good looking, but maybe I become good looking all of a sudden. Maybe I'm a person to be around all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Um, it's really hard to say. Would I worry about jealousy? Not really. Expectations slightly, but my circle is so small that I would be able to handle it. That's how small it is, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Would you fund someone else's dream, and what kind of project would it be? I would love to like finance someone's like restaurant or something like that. Um, think that'd be really cool. Or maybe some kid who's really really smart and the family just doesn't have it or whatever it is, and like push him through school to become a doctor or something like that. Um, but yeah, I would try to fund somebody something else. That'd be cool. Seeing somebody else happy a lot of the time makes us feel like we're happy, like we've completed or done whatever it is they did. You know, whether it's a triple axel or score a hat trick, it's watching somebody else do it and do it well is you know, nice enough, much less. And what would you do with the sudden attention? Stay out of limelight or be all in it? I would definitely stay out of it. Just wouldn't want to do it alone, you know? That's the one thing. That would kind of kill the fun, I think. If you could do one completely outrageous thing, knowing money is no object, what would it be? Here's a funny thing. I always thought that like me and my old best friend, we're not friends anymore. It's not that we don't like each other. I mean, it's certainly not that I don't like him. I always said to myself, if I won money, I would have, when we were friends, I would have literally had someone dig up his house and move it. Knowing that I could just say, snap my fingers and here, go buy yourself a new house. I always thought that, but I mean, that was like astronomical amounts of money. But I always thought that'd be funny. If your friend comes home all day, like you're living on the same street as you were, or whatever it is, and all of a sudden you had enough money to literally take his house out of the dirt and literally relocate it to when this guy comes home from work and his whole house is gone. Now, obviously, you couldn't really do that because that person would probably sue you. You'd probably no longer be friends and you'd have to fork over a whole lot of dough. But that was just one of those weird dreams that I always had. It's nice to be able to share my biggest financial success dream. But yeah, I always thought that'd be the funniest thing, just to dig up your friend's house and move it somewhere else, and they come home from work and it's like, and remember, they're not even knowing that you won this money. It's just gone. That'd be fun. And that'd be crazy, right? It'd be one of those things, I guess. What else we got? Would you make any changes to your appearance or personal brand? Maybe. Well, maybe I'd literally have a brand change, a style change. I'd probably dress totally different. For me, I wouldn't really reinvent anything, you know. I'd be clean. Nah, I wouldn't even be clean cut. I'd probably start growing my hair long, like they assumed that dude, the airplane, that dude that just went away and disappeared. Peeing in bottles at the apartment or whatever he was doing. I can't remember. Howard Hughes. But who knows? I don't think I'd be that guy. Last question. But my wardrobe would change, certainly. And I wouldn't really reinvent anything. I just think I'd be just so comfortable in my own skin. I'd be the dude at the mall with with the pajamas on. And not these new nice cool onesie or whatever weird kind of but nice cool pajama. I mean old school pajamas like 1950s. And I guess if you lost it all tomorrow, what's the one thing you'd be glad you did with the money? Give to the church. Give to the proper churches that need a building to continue the work of God, I believe. Sudden wealth is like a roller coaster. It takes you up, spins you around, and, it's up to you whether you throw your hands up and enjoy the ride, or if you, take a firm grip and stay grounded. It's about exploring who do you become and who do you adapt, or how do you do it? How do you adapt? But yeah, Bear is gone. I think I'd look at life totally different. Nothing that I'm rushing to get, nothing to save. I mean, I assume that that whole life would come with not wanting to be what you were before, where your taste buds for the best T-bone steaks would be a real thing, and you definitely couldn't go back to eating whatever it is, the steaks that they're giving you at No Frills. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things. But it is interesting. I wonder how stressful. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I've come up with a little bit of money, a few thousand or something like that, stress goes up for me. I notice, because it's like there's so many things you could do, and which ones do you do? And then at the same time, while you're picking good stuff to do, you're hoping that you're not getting broke at the same time, or going broke at the same time, or spending at a bad rate that will see you broke in no time. But it is really worth challenging yourself to. I probably didn't do such a great job, because I probably should have been asking somebody else these questions, but and giving them good feedback. But it wouldn't be easy. I don't think it'd be easy, and I can honestly say I wouldn't want to win $50 million, and the 50 is probably close to 50 to $80 million, like where you call it crazy money. I think staying grounded is the main thing, and I think not having everybody know who you are. Maybe I'd have to grow a beard, and then I would always have it shaven off after that, and try to lay in the cut in incognito. Like, I don't know who's looking for lottery winners. I'm sure there are people out there, when they're looking for scams or when they're looking for business ventures, maybe they mark these people and see if they can keep up with them. So I think I'd probably, change where I was living, tighter security on everything I have, and VPNs and all that other stuff. Try to stay as private as possible, but hopefully get as real as I could possibly be at the same time. Anyhow, that's about it, y'all. It's an interesting scenario. I don't think I even really got to the crux of everything, but it is an interesting thought. What would you really do? Most of us, when we think about what would we do if we won $1 million, it'd be like, I buy a new house, and I would quit my job and tell the boss where to go, and then or keep my job, tell him where to go anyway. But you'd have you'd have way more control. So you never know what you'd really do. But generally, we'd probably get to one or two or three things, and then we'd probably just go back to a regular life and say, well, but I haven't won the lottery, or I didn't come into big money, so I'm just going to go pay this bill right here. Go home and be a good guy. Anyhow, this is MCM, and you're listening to You're Probably Right. I hope you come through again. All right, take care. Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 ducks. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.